Tom Downey, host of the Cowboys Report here. We're going to break down the CeeDee Lamb injury, or maybe injury in air quotes there. But I would like to remind everyone watching that the Cowboys Report is the #1 Cowboys YouTube channel, and we have more actual subscribers than the real LA Rams YouTube account does. So get wrecked, LA. All right, let's get into what everyone's kind of somewhat maybe freaking out a little bit here, especially when Ian Report says, I did not participate today. CeeDee Lamb did not practice today with what is labeled a groin injury on the official NFL and Cowboys Injury Report. Now, Lamb has said it was GPS usage, meaning I'll explain what we mean there. The GPS data was high. The Cowboys are big fans of this. They track all their players' movements and data, and if there's too much running going on at practices and games, then they're going to shut them down in an attempt to avoid for future soft tissue injury stuff. The one thing McCarthy does do really well is manage players' injuries. CeeDee Lamb even spoke to reporters about, hey, you weren't out there. What's going on? Here's what Lamb said. I'm fine. I'm ready. We're good. I don't want to scare nobody. Well, when you did not participate at practice on Thursday and then big media tweets it out, it's going to scare some people. I will make note, I fully believe Lamb when he says it, even though, the Cowboys are known liars in their own organization injury-wise here. But this is something that Mike McCarthy has done quite well, as best as you can limit injuries. There is always some flukiness to it, some just natural, you're playing football, injuries happen. But when it comes to soft tissue stuff, which, whether it's the groin or just a rest day for Lamb, but they labeled it groin, can't lie on an injury report, so there is a groin concern at some level for this team. It's not absolutely nothing. It's just minorly nothing. But limiting workload, doing the preemptive stuff like you're doing for Donovan Wilson this week too, is something Mike McCarthy does very well. The Cowboys love their GPS data. They love utilizing that in an attempt to avoid soft tissue injuries. Who here remembers how many times years ago the Cowboys always had a hamstring injury? Looking at you, Sean Lee. Hasn't been nearly as bad since Mike McCarthy took over, knock on wood. Lamb was at practice today. We got some photos of you here. Thanks, Michael Gelkin. Getting stretched out as well. There's no giant ice pack that I can see around his groin. I mean, there is some resistance bands and whatnot. He's getting stretched as well. So there is a groin injury for CeeDee Lamb. It is more of a, per Lamb himself, a workload, a usage thing, because, he doesn't need that many reps on Thursday. He'll be in the walkthrough on Friday, the very, very light practice, and then he'll play Sunday. But what is your panic level right now over CeeDee Lamb? More on him and more Cowboys injury news coming up in a little bit. But first, what is your panic level over CeeDee Lamb? Scale it for me, 1 to 100 in the comment section. It's the pinned comment, by the way, on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. We'll actually take the injury designation, the little asterisk you see on the depth chart, off of Noah Brown. He had the neck injury late last week, but he was a full participant Wednesday and Thursday. Pretty clear sign to me he's going to be good to go this week for the Dallas Cowboys. Gallup is still out there. Fehoko, Turpin were active last week. 10 snaps for Fehoko on offense, 5 for Turpin, and Tolbert was inactive. Make no mistake, even with Michael Gallup now healthy, you need CeeDee Lamb out there. He's way too important for your team and your passing game to not be present. He's getting way too many targets, way too much attention from defenses to not be playing. And I am confident, by the way, that he will play. Not just because I'm a Cowboys fan or he's on my fantasy team, both of which are true, but because I am inclined to believe the Cowboys and CeeDee Lamb in this one. They lie about injuries. I don't think they're lying about this one. Make note, too, they did this a lot at training camp. There was the foot injury for CeeDee Lamb, which is a different story because he actually did end up cutting himself doing, as he said, clown shit, which doesn't really specify things too much from that perspective. But they did do that quite a bit at training camp for Lamb. He did get some GPS days off. I think that's what's going on here as well. Now, we are bringing back the BetUS jersey deal up until kickoff for the Dallas Cowboys, and that's the Cowboys-Rams kickoff this week. If you want a Cowboys jersey, here's how you can get one. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Cowboys125. You got to put down at least $100. Otherwise, you're not going to get the deposit bonus, and you're not eligible for the Cowboys jersey. We have several available: Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott, and, perfect timing, CeeDee Lamb as well. Now, you're not going to get the signed autograph one, come on. But these are official NFL licensed Nike jerseys. They are the real deal. So think about it. $100 down, but it's going to give you $125 for free, and you'll get a Cowboys jersey as well. Got to place a bet, though, before kickoff. We will need a bunch of your information, like shipping and jersey size and address and proof you actually did the BetUS deal. So email us, jersey@chatsports.com. You'll get a response. Then you'll send your information to us, and we'll take care of you. Jersey@chatsports.com. I will put that email for you guys in the comment section and the description of today's show. A little bit more now on CeeDee Lamb than some other injury stuff here. Lamb, first off, I love this photo of the one-handed grab against the Giants. Perfect. 42 targets. I believe that is 6th entering Thursday Night Football in the entire NFL. Only 23 catches, lots of targets. There was, of course, some mistakes. That drop was brutal. Some inefficiency overall. Obviously, had a disastrous offensive game in Week 1. Rush isn't as accurate as Dak Prescott is, but you're still putting up 288 yards, and it seems like every week Lamb's been just a little bit more productive. A little bit spooky at one point again in that Giants game, but they recovered nicely there. Targets-wise, he's becoming that number one receiver. Now you're hoping for that just slight next step forward, get that efficiency in terms of targets to catches up, and everything else will be going beyond there. So I think Lamb's going to play him. I'm honestly not that worried about it. My panic level is at a 2, maybe a 1.69. But will CeeDee Lamb, I'm so immature, will CeeDee Lamb catch a touchdown pass against the Rams? Get those predictions in for me right now. Y for yes or N for no. Let's talk more injury news. This one more positive. The next two notes are on Jourdan Lewis. First up, he, of course, had the groin injury flare-up on him before Cowboys kickoff last week versus the Commanders. He did not play. DaRon Bland gets put into a tough position. I thought he handled himself pretty well. Lewis missed practice on Wednesday, was limited at practice today. A very good sign for his availability against the Rams. And I think you would like, at minimum, the option of getting to choose between Jourdan Lewis or DaRon Bland. I know there are a lot of Bland fans out there. I myself am one. You're going to get a lot of Cooper Kupp in the slot this week. And whether it's Jourdan Lewis or DaRon Bland or Kenny Moore, the best nickel corner in the NFL for the Colts, there are not many players who can actually stop Cooper Kupp. My suspicion, by the way, put Trayvon Diggs on Allen Robinson, who kind of sucks anyway this year, and then bracket double shadow coverage CeeDee Lamb as best as possible. That way you're kind of doubling up on their best receiver and then trying to shut down their number 2. You're not going to put Diggs very much in the slot outside of some motion and man stuff. So I don't think we'll see very many Diggs versus Kupp matchups. Hoping the slot guys, Lewis and Bland, take care of it. Offensive injury note now. Again, everyone we mentioned on our preview video earlier today, which is in the comment section, the description, the link to it as well. They're all doing fine, better or the same or better from what they were Wednesday. Jake Ferguson did not practice Wednesday, limited at practice today. Popped up on the injury report with a surprise knee injury that wasn't really mentioned at all post-game by McCarthy. Missed practice Wednesday, limited today. Obviously, Dalton Schultz has been a full participant as well. He's just fine. There's no designation there for Peyton Hendershot. So I think very, very promising stuff here for Ferguson. We'll see if they're active. They could promote Sean McEwen again from the practice squad if they need to. I think we'll know by Saturday if Ferguson's playing or not, because if the Cowboys don't promote McEwen from the practice squad, that means Jake's going to play. I lean towards him being active, which will lead to some tricky discussions in terms of who's inactive come game day. But overall, pretty promising injury news and notes today for the Dallas Cowboys.